Have you ever wondered why you feel like you're drawing closer to God, but deep down still carry a sense of emptiness, as if something important is being left behind? You say your prayers, attend Mass, try to stay faithful, yet the inner fire that transforms doesn't seem to ignite. The answer might not lie in what you're doing on a grand scale, but in what you're overlooking as too small. Saint Josemaría Escrivá repeated tirelessly that holiness is found in the details, in nearly invisible gestures, in the silence of the heart, in the hidden fidelity unseen by the world. And that's exactly where most fail, because they expect to find God in the big moments but forget Him in the ordinary routine of each day. We live in an era that glorifies the extraordinary. We are taught to chase great achievements, grand recognition, impressive gestures. But the soul is not shaped by greatness. It matures in the hidden places, in the quiet, in the silence. Saint Josemaría reminds us that a soul that longs for God must learn to be faithful in the most ordinary acts. And this is harder than it seems, because it demands consistency, patience, love in the moments when no one is watching. How often have you forgotten to offer that exhausting workday to the Lord? How many times have you cleaned your house complaining instead of transforming it into an act of love? How many times have you recited prayers mechanically, without letting your heart truly enter into them? It's in these small distractions that we lose the thread of holiness, because we become used to living divided, one life for God and another for the world, as if heaven were far from the ground we walk on. For Saint Josemaría, holiness was not a vocation for a chosen few, it was a universal calling. Every baptized person is called to be holy, and not tomorrow, not when they feel more ready, but now, in their concrete reality, with the duties they already have. Spiritual greatness does not begin when you change your life. It begins when you change your attitude toward the life you already live, when you transform the ordinary into extraordinary with the grace of God. He used to say, "Don't say that's just how I am, it's my character." No, that's your lack of character. This kind of seemingly harsh phrase hid a demanding love, because true love doesn't settle. It calls us higher. And he firmly believed it was possible to live heroic holiness within the four walls of a common home, behind a desk, amid the noise of an office, in a tired mother's kitchen, in a student's routine. But that requires a new way of seeing. It requires the ability to perceive the invisible. The soul that longs for God must learn to cultivate what is hidden, because that's where God speaks. It is in the noise of daily life that He whispers, and only those who silence their hearts can hear Him. Saint Josemaría believed there can be no true spiritual life without interior mortification. Harsh public penances aren't always necessary. Sometimes the most effective penance is simply to smile when you want to complain, to remain silent when you want to argue, to get up on time even without motivation, to stay faithful when no one is watching. Our problem is that we seek a God who shines like a spectacle when He insists on hiding in common things. Do you want to be united to God? Then learn to love Him in what you already have. The floor of your kitchen is sacred ground. Your work computer can be an altar. Your patience with your children, your boss, or the traffic, all of that can become raw material for holiness if done with love. And here lies the most neglected point: intention. Saint Josemaría said we must purify our intentions at every moment. It is not enough to do good. It must be done for God. What you're doing right now, is it for your own glory, or to be noticed? How many things in your life are done out of hidden pride disguised as zeal, or out of vanity masked as mission? He taught that God rejects even good deeds when done with a corrupted intention, because God sees the heart, and the heart is the temple where everything begins, and also where everything can be lost. The secret is to live each moment as if it were eternal, because in a way, it is. Every act done with love is marked in time as eternity, and that's frightening, because it reveals that nothing you do is too small before God. That dish washed with love, that email sent with kindness, that silent pain endured with a smile, all of this is part of your redemption. All of this builds little by little a holy soul. But if you don't stay vigilant, the world will deceive you. It will tell you that you need something greater, a more visible calling, a more recognized mission. And when you fall into that trap, you'll start to despise your current life. You'll start to believe that your vocation is too small, your work useless, your home insignificant. And that's a lie. Because nothing done with love for God is small. On the contrary, it is great in heaven's eyes. Saint Josemaría saw life as a battlefield for the soul, and details were the saint's silent weapons. A simple look of compassion, a word spoken with gentleness, a sacrifice made quietly, all of it has eternal value. That's why he insisted so much on sanctifying work, sanctifying time, sanctifying the present moment. Because it's there, in that exact instant of your life, that God wants to act. And maybe that's exactly what is missing from your spiritual walk. The awareness that details matter. The soul gets lost when it becomes distracted, when it lives on autopilot, when it trades the essential for the urgent, when it does things out of obligation that should be done out of love, when it prays but doesn't listen, when it acts but doesn't offer, when it suffers but doesn't unite that suffering to Christ's. Do you want to grow in the spiritual life? Then pay attention to what you ignore. Start watching the thoughts you entertain, the feelings you let grow, the words you choose to speak. Because all of that shapes your interior, and the interior is what God sees. Saint Josemaría used to say that a great soul pays attention to the small details with others. Because true love does not live off grand speeches. It lives through small, consistent acts. Through faithfulness when everything in you screams to quit. Through silent presence. Through hidden surrender. For him, holiness was not a passing emotion. It was a firm decision, renewed every moment, to love God where he has placed you. So today, as you finish this video, look around. See what seems small. See what seems trivial. See what you've been doing without soul. Maybe that's exactly where God is waiting for you. Maybe you don't need to change your life, but change how you live it. Because as Saint Josemaría used to say, the ordinary when lived with love becomes extraordinary.